Welcome back to Grand Tactician the Civil War. This is our CSA campaign, which started in February 1861, so it was the early start rather than the summer start. We are up to episode 5. We fought a couple of fair-sized battles in Virginia in the last couple of episodes, so I'm hoping for a quieter episode this time around so we can do a little bit of organising. And that being said, let's take a little look at what's been going on. So first off, if you missed the previous episodes or you're new to the channel, do please come and subscribe or check my channel out and have a look, see what there is available. There's several different playlists I've got on the go that we've already finished, in fact. So the full series is to watch on Grand Tactician. We've got Confederate campaigns starting in 1864 and 1861. We've got a Union campaign that also started in 1861. And of course, there's this campaign, which is still ongoing. And on a side note, if you like this kind of content, you should go and check out a guy called Brambra on YouTube. I'll link him in the comments, so go and have a look at his stuff. It's very good and very thoroughly explained and a bit more organised than my playthroughs. But yeah, go and check him out. So anyway, back to the video here. So we're working on Diplomacy 2, which is going to be ready in less than 3 days, so 2.7 days for that. Following on from that, we are either going to go for Military 2 or maybe we'll go for government funding to see if we can improve some of these projects and pump more money into them. But I'm not sure. We'll see what we fancy then. So, in terms of recruitment and men, let's have a quick go through the armies. I won't go through in huge detail because obviously if you want more details, then you can go and check the previous episode. So we've got the South Carolina Corps, which is kind of in South Carolina near Charleston. Just a small force. It's sort of protecting the seaboard just in case the AI does anything. I'm not holding my breath on that front, however. We've got the Florida Corps, which is Florida Corps, 800 men just on the south coast. Basically just to give Zollicoffer a command, who is a political general. That's why I've kept them there. Who else have we got? We've got the Southern Virginia Force, which is under Magruder. Again, just kind of 4,000 men. They're dotting around here, building bits and pieces, and kind of guarding Washington from anything that might come up the peninsula here. But, you know, again, I'm not holding my breath on the AI being that aggressive. Although he had just led a decent invasion into Northern Virginia, which we rebuffed. Then we've got the Army of the Northwest, which will have about 5,000 men once we get those latest recruits into there. And they're obviously in Northwest Virginia, sort of in the area that's West Virginia these days. We've got the Western Army, which is one of our bigger armies, 20,500 men under Price. They are on the kind of Missouri-Arkansas border. We've got the Army of the Shenandoah under Joe Johnston in the Shenandoah Valley. Army of the Potomac under Beauregard, which is on the eastern side of Virginia, just south of Alexandria. The Army of the Tennessee, which is our largest army, 24,800 men that's got, and they're sitting in Nashville. In addition to that, we've got the Eastern HQ, the Central HQ, and the Western HQ. Now, they're kind of headquarter regional commands where we're recruiting troops. So, Cooper, Holmes, and Gideon Pillow. So, they're all just kind of recruiting units. And then we've got some pioneer units. They're going to build things for us. So, the Eastern Pioneers under Bragg, again, because, I mean, Bragg sucks. So, he is high-ranking commander, but I don't really want to give him a command if I'm perfectly honest. Then we have the Tennessee Pioneers, who are like in Tennessee. They're just a way to build some forts here in the area where Fort Donaldson and those kind of forts were historically. We've got the Missouri Pioneers over here, and they will also be building bits and bobs. So that's enough waffle for now. Let's crack on with the campaign. The plan had been to invade Kentucky, but we need to strengthen up our central army before we do that, because there are actually like 3 armies in Kentucky, 3 Union armies. We've got the Department of the West, it's going to have about 24,000 men. We've got the Army of Kentucky with 20,000 men. So both those armies outnumber us, which obviously is a slight concern. I know there's a 3rd army here as well, because we've spotted them before, and obviously we can see they're building a depot. So I'm sending up a little scouting fleet. They're going to go up to Evansville to see if we can see anything else, see if we can pick up some info. So this report of the Department of the West is from the 1st of July, so it's a bit old. Army of Kentucky, April the 30th, so that's really outdated. We're constructing a hospital here. This is the Army of Tennessee is actually doing this rather than the Engineering Corps, simply because the Army of Tennessee is not going to be moving up yet. Got quite a few troops queued up in the Central HQ here. We've got Nathan Bedford Forrest with a cavalry brigade. We've got George James with a cavalry brigade as well. And then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 infantry brigades. Bushrod Johnson with his Georgia troops. Reynolds from Kentucky. Well, Kentucky troops. George Pickett with a brigade from Mississippi. George Anderson with some Tennessee troops. And Albert Pike with some more Tennessee men. And then we've got 2 battalions of artillery. So once they're ready, we're going to pump them out into the Army of Tennessee and maybe restructure it slightly, and we will press on and maybe invade Kentucky. An offensive in Kentucky is something I'm interested in conducting. So, yeah, we can't really see anything else with this squadron, but what we can do, we can blockade Evansville. Speaking of blockades, now the Union are not blockading me at all, so again, it's something that the AI just hasn't taken part in here. We can see a fleet up there, set to raiding, but 162 guns, but they're not doing anything. They are just sitting there and doing nothing. The AI is quite passive in this at the moment, which is concerning, but we are kind of testing out this 1.06 beta patch, and I guess it's the way it is. That's just the way how it goes. So anyway, Magruder's here. Magruder is going to build us a fort. Forts are expensive, but we could definitely use one here, so we're going to pop it here. We're just going to guard this river crossing, or both these river crossings really, around Fredericksburg. So what, 18 million that costs. So we're on BBB plus, so we do have to watch it a little bit on the finance front. So Bragg's Pioneer unit isn't there yet. They're still waiting on those recruits arriving. Let's just have a quick look how long those guys are going to be. So again, I've given this to an imbecile, Pemberton. He's in charge of this Pioneer Brigade. But again, it just gets him out of the way and gives him a command. Not that he needs a command, but actually, you know, he doesn't look that bad, I suppose. There's definitely worse commanders, but historically, he was pretty poor. All right, so we're building that fort here. We've got a hospital at Petersburg, which is not very well placed, if I'm honest. So maybe we'll build another one up here near Fredericksburg, which is going to be a little bit more useful to us, a little bit closer to the front. So we're going to have 2 hospitals here, which is a little unfortunate, but, you know, it's fine. Let's take a quick look at our fleets. So we've got the James River Squadron, which, you know, is not looking too powerful, if I'm honest. I have got a few ships here constructing, getting built, but they're going to be a while still. The New Orleans Squadron, we need to put a few more ships in that, and then I think I'm going to send them up the river. Up the Mississippi. North Carolina Squadron, again, this is a pretty weak squadron. Savannah Squadron, I mean, you know, 3 tiny ships. The Scouting Squadron, Mississippi Scouting Squadron 1. Again, this is just, obviously, it's just a Scouting Squadron. I'm not expecting any combat from those guys. Then this is our kind of main squadron. I've called it a Raiding Squadron 1. It's under Buchanan. We've got 5 brigs in that. That's a fair-sized fleet for this time for the Confederacy, basically. So Mississippi Scout Squadron 2, again, it's just a tiny little squadron, and then we're going to send that up to scout another river. Let's get time passing on, and let's... there we go. I was just going to say let's wait until Diplomacy 2 opens up, but there it is. So, more Confederate diplomats to Europe, new trade deals proposed, weapon imports discussed. So this is an important thing to improve our weapons, because we really can't get very good weapons. We can't order Sharps carbines. I guess we captured these maybe on the battlefield. Maynard carbines, we can't order them. I have got 12-pounder howitzers on order, 16 of them. They're going to be another 22 days. We've got 24-pounder howitzers on order. Again, they're going to be 44 days. We've got 4 10-pounder Parrott rifles, but, you know, we can't order any more, so what's the point? 6 14-pounder Jameses. We can't order Springfield rifles. We've only got 1,500 of those. We can't order Mississippi rifles. We've only got 600. So rifles is a real problem. Reboard muskets, I've got 3,000 on order. I should have ordered some more, but that's okay. But they're not very good anyway. But that's it. We can't really order anything else. So what we need is access to some European weapons. So hopefully that comes up in the project soon, and we can discuss Austrian rifles, get hold of those Lawrence rifles, or is it the Augustine rifle or something? This another kind of rifle anyway, a little bit more obsolete than the Lawrence or Lorenz, or however you say it. I'm not sure. yeah, let's wait and see what that brings. But in terms of policies, so we've just enacted Diplomacy 2. We could go for Diplomacy 3, but I like the idea. Let's go for government funding. After that, we'll probably go military 2. Probably, but we don't have to. But it means we could organise into full armies, which obviously is handy. Now, usually I recruit troops into the HQs, but I recruit troops directly into the Army of the Northwest because, frankly, they're not going to be moving anywhere anytime soon, so it didn't really seem to matter too much. Yeah, so this little tiny scouting fleet is blockading Evansville. 22% blockaded. So maybe that'll cause these guys some supply issues. I'm not sure if it will, but it might. So let's go ahead and construct a fort with our Tennessee Pioneers. 19 million for that one. Okay. Now the Missouri Pioneers aren't ready either. 18 days for those guys. Now Price is in supply still here. So let's get him started building a depot. Depots also not cheap, but we're gonna need them. So let's build one here. And once he's built that, I'm going to push up with the Missouri Pioneers once they're ready, and they can take over the building, and then Price can push up towards St. Louis. So there are some Union forts down here. I don't know if that makes any difference to our supply getting up, but I kind of doubt it. But maybe we'll deal with those at some point soon. So I think that's both his armies there. Army of Mississippi and whatever that other one was. But we will wait to push north. I'm going to have to go upgrading these farms. Oh, Union's got 2-year contracts. Let's take a quick look at the numbers. Navy tonnage, 84,000, but I have genuinely not seen any of his Navy at all. 7,000 casualties for them, 2,500 for us. We've got 93,000 fielded. He's got 123,000, so he's got a slight advantage on numbers, but he doesn't seem to be doing much with those numbers. Now, I guess he's being a little bit passive because of this supply situation. He's kind of constrained the same way that I am. You can't just go marching into Kentucky without any supplies. Now, you can draw some supplies from cities and IIPs generally, but we can't just march up into here and fight a battle and then not be resupplied in any way. So we're going to have to wait until our supply depots are ready, until we've got some more troops in this army. And he's in the same boat, I guess, and that's why he's not doing anything with these larger armies that he's got kicking around in Kentucky. Also, it's still very early in the war. I mean, it's only July. It's barely started, really, has it? I mean, we're building another prison down here next to Raleigh, North Carolina. A market being constructed in Richmond. That's telling us there's some economy problems in the area. The thing that's baffled me the most about the Union here is that he's doing nothing with his Navy at all. He's not blockading me. So I'm going to take this little North Carolina squadron, which is just a tiny little squadron. I'm going to bring it up, and I'm going to see if we can... we're going to blockade this whole area, all these ports. I'm going to just bring this fleet up and put it in the middle, and I'm going to blockade and just see what it does. See if there's any response from the Union. We'll blockade this harbour, which I know, obviously, historically, would never happen, but, I mean... I don't know. I don't know why the Union isn't doing anything. I'm trying to see if there's any reaction from them. And if there's not, then that is obviously a problem with this build, I would say. The 1.06 build. So he's building depots up here. Where are we looking at here? Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. He's building a depot there. Building a depot here. So he's just kind of sitting building depots. Which is kind of what I'm doing as well, I guess. Something's ready. Let's see what it is. Richmond Market, okay. I'm going to speed this up a little bit. So our North Carolina squadron is just sailing up here, no problem at all. Hasn't encountered a single Union ship. Something else built, let's check it out. Raleigh prison camp, okay, cool. So we've got a couple of thousand capacity now for prisoners. Oh no, same thing. I thought it was a new notification, but it wasn't. Mississippi Scout 2. Okay. I'm going to send these guys up the river towards St. Louis a little. Not too close, because I guess he might have a fleet up there that he started with. We'll find out. So another 31 days for that fort to be constructed, and then I guess we'll push up. Let's just slow this down. Baron at destination. The North Carolina squadron. So that's arrived up there. It hasn't encountered a single Union ship. All the way up the eastern seaboard and hasn't encountered anybody. So why is that? Why is the AI not using its ships? Why is he allowing us to sail up with a couple of schooners and tiny little gunboats and blockade New York? It's just, I don't know. Whether this is not blocked, actually, to be fair. Maybe these ships are too small to block it. No, they are blockaded. 14% blocked. I mean, I'm surprised there's even that with these little tiny ships, if I'm honest, but that's crazy. So we are actually blockading the Union here, and they're doing nothing. It's disappointing. There's so much work needed on this build, I feel, but I doubt it's going to get the work that it needs. Now, this could be obviously where I get my butt handed to me by somebody, but you know, in battle. But that's okay. But it's like it's the overview, the strategy of the AI. It doesn't seem to be able to cope with the new mechanisms that are implemented in this build. At least that's how it appears to me. That's not to say I don't still enjoy the game, but you know, it's a little strange. So anyway, let's transfer some of these guys over. We've got some men ready. I'm going to transfer them into the fighting forces. So not much going on here. It's a bit of a lull, a bit of a quiet time. That's fine for now. Wilmington market is completed, and the Savannah market is completed. All right, cool. No action against slavery. Yeah. All right. So the Missouri Pioneers are ready now. So one of the things from out west here is that there are no real telegraph lines in the Trans-Mississippi area. And maybe that's something we can work on with this Missouri force. The Pioneers. Oh, no, actually, sorry, no, they're not ready. 3 more days. Oh, well. Disaster at the Mississippi. 3 ships lost, so they only had 3 ships anyway. Didn't even know we were fighting the battle. The Battle of the Mississippi has ended with the Mississippi Scout 2 retreating. That was up next to St. Louis. They got chinned. We got done in off the Mississippi Squadron and lost all 3 ships. The National Hospital is completed. All right, cool. We did spot an army here. Army of the Tennessee, 4,500 men. A couple of forts being constructed. Once this one's done, like I say, we're going to release the Army of Tennessee to go north. We've got a real lack of officers. And a real lack of equipment. That's the main problem we've got at the moment. Equipment and officers. A lot of 6-pounder field guns in this army. And nothing much to change them over with. So send some more troops up to join Price, and they're now on 24,000 men. That's a decent force for Missouri, I think. Now, so I've arranged a little cavalry division here. It's under Steele, who's been over-promoted, but I've got no commanders available to put in there. He's gone from, I don't know, captain or major or something right up to brigadier general. All right, but we do have 4 guns here, 4, so we can't actually upgrade those. Let's give them 14-pounder Jameses. Nice range on them. Or we'll give 10-pound Parrots, but let's go with those. So they've got 4 James rifles there. It's not bad. So Price is sitting on 24,500 men, well, 24,000 men and 67 guns. So this is a nice force we could push up with. Weapons. Really poor 6-pounders for everyone, really. Mixed muskets for most people. And to be all honest, I don't really have much I can upgrade them with. Let's take a look. There's nothing. Springfield muskets, I guess, but I'm going to at least give some of these Springfields out. But even those, we only have 16,000, so... Oh, only 700 in that unit. So they can actually get some better weapons. Give them Springfield rifles. Okay, so mostly mixed muskets and Springfield muskets with it. I think it's just one rifle unit, but what can I do? It's poorly equipped, but that's the way of it. Let's move time on. Funding 1 enacted, so that's our policy there. So yeah, let's go ahead and go with military 2. Although it will mean quite a bit of adjusting once that's in. We could go for diplomacy 3. No, let's go military 2 and then we'll do a bit of reorganising of the armies. Trade deals. Alright, so let's see this then. Finance nation diplomats to negotiate more lucrative trade deals with foreign nations. The trade deals will allow better prices when importing and exporting goods. Well, I guess we can go ahead and do that. Suppress the population. I'm not really bothered about that, but we might as well invest, I suppose, where we can. Can we do anything with the military investments? Nothing. Right. Oh, but we do have some £12 howitzers that have just arrived, which is nice. I'm going to order some more straight away. I'm going to order 32 of them. I know it's expensive, and I know they take a while, but, I mean, we can't really go into battle with just £6-pounder guns. It's just not doable. I don't really understand why we can't make Springfield muskets. Surely we've got the capability to make those. Army of Mississippi is going to be 20,000 men, and what is this other one? They've got 2 armies in Mississippi? Oh no, one's Department of something. Department of the West. So 18,000. And what was it, 20,000 or so? But that's a substantial force. Okay, so the Central HQ, I'm actually going to move those guys up towards Nashville, since we're going to plan an operation into Kentucky. I feel like we might be better served waiting for that until we have Military 2 available to us. Oh yeah, so that Scouting Squadron 2 is completely gone. It's just wiped off the map. So there's nothing much from the Union here. They're not moving. We're in August 1861. A few things ready. Let's just check them out. Culpeper Courthouse Hospital. And the depot at Manassas Junction. Alright, that's good. Alexandria is actually in our control. Right. They aren't doing anything. They haven't even recruited troops into here. We could just walk into Washington if we wanted to. Do we want to? It'll probably bring the war to a close quite rapidly, I would think. Not sure. Oh. Just when I was saying they weren't doing anything. So they've actually advanced on... Is it Springfield? Yeah, they've advanced on Springfield and Sterling Price. So we're going to round this episode off with a battle. Nice. I didn't see that coming. I just thought they were going to sit there doing nothing. Let's go. Let's do this battle. So there we are then. We are at the Battle of Springfield. We're starting on a minor defeat. I'm not sure why that is exactly. They have slightly higher morale. We are to defend. Okay. Our scouts report the enemy is near Springfield, Missouri, and our army is to prepare for battle. We are facing the Army of the West under the command of Edward R.S. Canby, with a strength of 18,000 men and 39 guns. It'll be interesting to see how they're equipped. I mean, obviously we can't really see it, but we'll notice if they're rifle-armed or whatever, depend by how far they can shoot their men. The enemy army is green, and the morale is reportedly determined. Reports indicate the supply situation is outstanding. The supply of our situation, the state of supply for our army is outstanding, so... Okay, cool. I'm genuinely pleased that he's come and done this because I was starting to wonder if they're going to do anything. Let's just take a quick look at the objective. Dixon. Down here. All right, so that's... Where's the Union coming in from? From the north, near Wilson's Creek. I guess they might just come straight down for a scrap, or they could come round the flank down this way onto the wire road and then down this little track. So we will guard this area in case he does that, but the majority of our force is going to just line up on this ridge, I guess, and we'll take it from there. We have got McLaw's division with 7,000 men, Pierce's division with 6,700, McCulloch's division with 4,000, and the cavalry division under Steele. Oh yes, we just give them the 14-pounder Jameses. Cool. But the rest of these guns are just 6-pounder cannons. Oh, we've also got Buckner's division, which has 2 batteries of guns, actually. So they've got 2,900 men with 24 guns. And they also have our Springfield Rifle armed unit. So perhaps we're going to get Buckner to guard this flank area. Not much range for the guns, but there's hills and things in the way. Got some little ready-made defenses there. Nice. We do have some engineering points, so let's go ahead and build up a little breastwork. There we go. I thought the guns might get a bit of a better shot up on this little hill, but apparently that makes little difference. In fact, it seems to make no difference. All right. Maybe they're a little close to the front, I guess, but at least it gives them a little field of fire. And if nothing comes from here, we can always pull this division back to defend this area. Okay, then. We've got a nice little ridge here. Right, so this is the setup then. We've got McLaws on the right. We've got parapets set up here. Not parapets, breastworks, sorry. We've got Pierce's brigade division covering the central area. We've got McCulloch covering the left flank, and Steele is here on the left. I'm going to set up a quick bit of breastworks just here so they can dismount and then guard this road if the Union comes along that way, which is obviously possible. We're not averse to moving our troops and reorganizing and reforming elsewhere if that is required, so we can be flexible. We'll have to wait and see what the Union does. I'm leaving a brigade each in reserve so we can move them around if need be. And yeah, so we're ready to go. We're set up here. It's 7 a.m. Let's see what happens. Let's see what the enemy has to do. What can we do here? Like I say, I don't mind coming out with these defenses if we need to, but handy if we can use them. I'm going to detach the guns from the divisions because I don't want them moving, particularly if we move infantry. I'd rather move the artillery individually if I need to. Possibly I'll start organising them into a separate unit, the artillery. Although I do like to have artillery attached to infantry divisions where possible as well. So my usual setup would be 3 brigades of infantry, 1 battery of guns. And then I usually have a separate division of artillery as well once I have enough troops anyway. So what I'm actually going to do, I'm going to send Field out a little bit to see if we can scout and see where they're going to come from, basically. I kind of have a feeling that he's going to swing around and come down this road. This is now swung to a minor victory. His morale dropped already. I don't know why. Here we come. I knew he was going to come down this way. All right. So we're going to pull him back. And actually what we'll do, we'll put some infantry into there rather than the dismounted cavalry. I'm going to pop them there on the flank, and Little can take over in the defences. I suspect he's not going to come down this way, so let's move these guns over. I'm going to leave just Parsons to guard this flank. Clark with his rifles is going to move across and stay in reserve. He's only a tiny unit, so I don't really want to involve him if I can avoid it. These guys are going to stay in position for now because I don't know for sure if nobody's going to come down this road. But it looks unlikely. However, Little has not gotten in position yet. And I thought he would have been there by now. Let's get him to double time. Our guns have opened fire. We're going to advance Ruggles and Macintosh. I was going to bring forward Field, but we don't need to. He's sitting there in those defences. Gives us a moment to set our guys up. We're going to bring Field onto the flank further. Just let our guns pepper them. We could actually move Ripley's guns across the sea if we can get some fire on them. We're just kind of swinging across here with some of our men, because I guess the fight's going to be around this area. I'm still leaving troops here though, just in case, and keeping half an eye on this, just in case. Best to be safe. Let's mount these guys up again. I'm going to send out skirmishers from Ruggles. Let's put McCulloch's brigade in here. We've only spotted a couple of his brigades, so he could be planning something. I don't know, probably not, but he could be. I think he's armed with the similar kind of crappy weapons as we've got. His men haven't opened fire on us, on our skirmishers. I spotted some more of his guys there, just popped up. Some skirmishers on, and that's our cavalry on his flank there. Let's dismount them. They're not returning fire, I think, because they are down in this little defile, so they can't quite get a shot on there. More skirmishers out from Macintosh. Going to put them on that creek bed. Maybe not actually, in front of the creek bed. Taking quite a lot of punishment, that first brigade. Excuse me. The one thing I've definitely learned while playing this game is that kind of slow and steady wins the race. You never want to rush things. You never want to send you guys too far forward. Here comes some of his guns. We've not lost a single man here. He's turning the fire. Now we're going to lose some men. 50. Yep, they're broken. Excellent. So I'm going to pull these guys back a little. Leave the skirmishers right there. Decent spot for these guns, actually, in 16 of them as well. So hopefully, even with them being 6 pounders, it can cause some damage there. He's coming forward. Is he just doing the same thing again? Can't be serious. Well, it looks like he is. I'm going to bring Clark forward a little with his rifles. I think the right flank is pretty damn secure. We'll have to remember it's all these guys' first battle as well. Bringing Field forward with his brigade. More infantry coming. Skirmishers. Let's get my coloured skirmishers forward. Hammering that flank for the 2nd Brigade, 3rd Division. Ruggles skirmisher starting to run low on ammunition. Only 24 rounds left. Done a good job here though. It's Field arriving, so I'm going to see if I can take this artillery out with him. Speed it up a little. Just the skirmishers thrown back there, and Ruggles skirmishers as well. Just going to fall back a little with our brigades. Moving Clark's brigade forward. Remember, they've got the rifles. Alright, then, so since nothing's really going to happen here, we're going to go on a little counter-offensive onto the flank. I'll bring the guns over as well. Oop, that's the skirmishers right there. Let's bring Frost up into the action. Yeah, fresh. We are slightly out of range of this infantry, but I'm not going to advance just yet because I want their cavalry to advance into our fire. And we've got more infantry moving down. And our flank attack is on the march. We've got Gardner, Armistead, and Brian. We're going to press these guys in. Skirmishers out. Get rid of those guns, boys. Let's get this division commander up there as well. Come on, McLaws. That rifle fire starting to tell. Barksdale's guys doing a really good job of holding the line here. We'll speed things up slightly, not too much. Times 2. Ruggles in contact on his flank there. Well, I think we've got another victory here. I mean, it certainly looks that way to me. Not that I want to be jinxing this. But I would say the Union is done. This is very much going to open up Missouri for a push. And actually, if we're being completely honest, this whole force should be wiped out and captured here. I would like Barksdale to stop advancing. Oh. Broken with 179 casualties. Gotta be joking. The enemy is retreating, alright. Shame about Barksdale, he better not be dishonoured. We've reformed. But this whole force will be captured, really. I mean, they are done. But it doesn't work like that. So, you know. Oh, really? Oh, they were the detachment, I was going to say. Another major victory, so it was fairly easy, if I'm honest. I mean, I don't want to blow me on trumpet or anything, but the AI wasn't amazing. But we're used to that. Fine, at least these guys got rid of their first battle perk, first battle debuff, and it's another victory, which is obviously the main thing. We didn't lose that many troops. Let's have a look. About 1,000. 5,500 for them. I mean, okay. Lots of our army didn't even need to engage. We've got whole brigades that barely fired a shot. Alright then, so the Battle of Springfield's fought near Springfield, Missouri, 15th of August, 1861. Major Confederate victory. We lost 894 men. He lost 5,500, so a quarter of his army. Outrageous. Major General McCulloch has become famous among his men and is an inspiration. Barksdale has fallen into disgrace. I mean, why would he have fallen into disgrace? It's ludicrous in this game that this happens to someone like that. I mean, yeah, they broke after they got into some melee combat, but they reformed immediately. They performed really well for the whole battle, except for that one little thing. Let's see what we've got to say here. The Battle of Springfield has ended with the Army of the West retreating in panic. My commanders earned as a total victory, with the enemy army running for their lives. The enemy has reportedly lost 5,545 men, 361 killed, and 2,690 captured. Morale is believed to be stable. We lost 894 men, 122 killed, 136 missing, and the rest wounded. We are confident, and supply is mediocre. We've captured 3,900 rifles and 20 guns. Let's have one quick look at the guns situation, see if we captured anything good. A couple of James rifles. I think that's it, though. We already had these because I ordered them. But, yeah, that's okay. But since we do have some of these ordered, we'll upgrade Archer to 12-pound howitzers. At least then we've got a couple of different units in there. Alright then, so that was a decent battle. Yeah, we haven't captured anything decent here, I don't think. I think this is all we had. Or maybe we've got some Colt revolving rifle, but I'm not entirely sure. But it doesn't look like we've got anything that we can give out. I think we captured a few Springfield rifles, maybe. I don't think we had 1,000 before. Oh, we've got the reboard muskets ready, so actually, let's give them out. We'll give them to Gardner's force. And actually, I think I'm going to order some more of those. Let's just have a quick look, see if we can do any of this now. No. No. We've got 32 howitzers on order, of course. The 24-pound howitzers are on their way. We can't order Springfield rifles or Springfield musketoons. We've got 3 reboard muskets left. Let's go ahead and order 5,000 reboard muskets. I mean, I know they're expensive, but we've got nothing else available, really. Actually, we'll order 10,000. At least then we'll have some weapons. But they're going to take 109 days. Hopefully by that time, we'll be able to order something else as well. yeah. So that's where we are. We just fought a nice little battle here down in southwest Missouri. Kicked the Union's butt once again. Took a few thousand prisoners. And that's great. Let's have a quick look at the prison just before I knock this on the head. Where was our prison again? Okay then, so prisons. Let's take a look. Oh, we've only got the Raleigh prison, so that we've got 1,463 prisoners in there. So that's over capacity. But why have we only got 1,463? I thought we just captured 2,000 and something. Or am I remembering that wrong? But I don't know anyway. But either way, we're overcrowded. But that's... Screw it, I'm not bothered. Okay, so we're going to leave it there. We kicked their butt in Springfield. And we're going to open this up. And we're going to push up towards St. Louis in the next episode. I hope you enjoyed the episode. I hope you did. I hope you'll be back to watch the rest of this series. And if you haven't seen the previous episodes, then go back and watch those episodes if you feel like doing so. Also, if you feel like it, do leave a subscribe, a comment. Let me know what you thought of it. What would you do different? What should I do next? An invasion in Kentucky is coming, and we're going to press on with this invasion into Missouri. So we're going to leave it right there. Have a great day, whatever you're doing, and I'll catch you later.